Hello and welcome to episode 114 of the Talking Wednesday podcast. I'd like to start all smiley and say that, this is a normal episode of the podcast, but we've tried to start this podcast for 40 minutes. We are now sat here after 40 minutes. Jack has nearly given Jake a fit.
Yes.
He's on a wind-up, and he's currently...
I'm doing an impression of myself on our episode for the first however long it was. That was my impression of that.
It was actually pretty good. Some people will think you were frozen there.
I know.
Yeah, I'm going to say that was very good.
Acting.
Yeah. Yep.
That was
There's
very
the
cringe.
peak of Jack's acting career there. Right, so welcome to the Talking Wednesday podcast. I am joined this week by Jack and Jake. We were going to do a live episode, then we decided we weren't going to do a live episode. Then we said, should we just all get together and see if we can find some time, which is why the episode is later. Much later than you would usually find it. But it's all of us because there's a lot of important Sheffield Wednesday stuff coming up, so it feels important to do this and get all together. I will say just at the top, there will be a dexterity watch on Sunday for the derby match, and I will get these boys involved at some point during that. It'll be more of a traditional dexterity watch than the Soccer Saturday style thing me and Jake did, which was a laugh. And obviously Jack was there as well, being a sideman for parts of it. But we will do a little bit more like that. But this Sunday will be more of a tradition. It's kind of fitting that the last dexterity watch.
There is a job going at Sky Sports if you want to go get Jeff Dellin's job.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. But
nah.
But I didn't have anything clever to say there. Could you tell?
Absolutely not. Any shot not taken is a shot missed.
Yes. Well, honestly, I couldn't think of anything clever to say, so I just played it off. I know you were setting me up for something, but I had nothing. That's how long. That's what happens when you spend 40 minutes before a podcast actually trying to start the podcast.
It's kind of actually reminiscent of any single cross that's put into Michael Smith before the other week. Any shot not taken is a shot missed.
And there goes the entire comment section at Jack. Please remember, Twitch, Worko. That's if you want to send the abusive way.
Yes.
Yes. Don't actually go and watch it. It's awful. Like, just the worst content you're ever going to see. But, like, abuse, that's fine.
It's very unhinged. I will tell you that. It's every intrusive thought you can possibly think of just is out there. That's what it is. It's just
He doesn't realise that filters exist, and there's a filter that humans are supposed to have. Jack just decided he's that age where he doesn't realise that actions and words have consequences yet. He will. He'll grow into it. We're so old. I'm 27. I'm not that old. Anyway. Hello again. This is going to be a one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday messed up on automatic since we last all spoke, boys.
Yeah.
How's everyone feeling?
How's
your week been first, actually?
Yeah. Yeah. Can't break tradition. Not been bad. You see, I've got new signage there. I also, one known in the parish, I have a Callum Patterson signed shirt, which you're going to get framed. I have a Callum Patterson, Big P, sorry. I have a Big P signed shirt, along with Big P signed.
A big photo of a Big P, I see.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So that's going to get framed soon and put behind me. But apart from that,
did they put the photos with the shirts?
No, I managed to get one of them. I would have loved if they did that, but I had to go get that myself.
Fair enough.
They do still have Windass, Adeniran, and Johnson still for sale on the shirts.
It's one of those where I would have done it, but it was one of those spends where I was like, I can't justify doing that. I don't really have, while I'm still in this space, I don't
got
really
wall space.
Yeah, I've stopped. I've reduced some work stuff as well, so less money coming in. It's sort of, I'm not buying as much crap.
Yeah.
I'm not even buying. I'm literally just being really selective about all the stuff I buy. What?
I just say, Jack.
I just went. selective because I know that you keep buying.
Thank you.
No, but I know that you keep buying frigging Pop Funkos and everything rather than practical
Did
things.
you just say Pop Funkos like some sort of boomer?
I just
Oh, you were those Pop Funkos.
all of them Pop Funkos.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm just laughing at the fact that I know from our conversation pre-podcast that your microphone isn't working very well that you like to use. You could buy a new one. But it's Pop Funkos instead.
I'm going to have to. No, I'm going to buy. That's the thing. I'm prioritizing things. I've got less money, so I'm prioritizing things. But it doesn't mean I can
have to
stop.
buy a new mic.
I'm sorry, I'm being a sod, aren't I? I'll be quiet.
Yes. Yes. He's been this all the time I've spoken to him today. This is the thing. We used to have a setup here that was rather professional in a way of doing things.
Yeah.
And then it's genuinely like, I guess it's got more of the pub vibe when we're all together, which is not too bad. How has your week been, Jack? As if we didn't all know.
I mean, just call me Miley Cyrus riding in on my wrecking ball. From
Go on, Jack. How's your week been?
Yeah. It's been okay. Nothing really eventful. I've just been getting back to the gym again and just getting in more of a fitness routine once again. Because honestly, looking back on some of the episodes that I've been on, I've let myself go again, and I don't like it. So I've been heavily getting back on that really. But it's there's been other stuff going on that I don't really want to talk about on a football podcast because it's all very MTV crap. So.
It is. However,
yeah, it is.
I'm glad you're learning that because, to be honest, I didn't mind. I never said anything at the time, but I do remember your first two appearances. You did get very philosophical about personal things for quite a while. You're like, when you opened it with "How's your week been?" you went, "Well, thank you for asking. Here's an essay I prepared earlier," and it was like Lover's Corner with workout, which
it turned into Agony Ant Corner.
That's the one.
I mean, hey,
Lover's
if you want that to come back,
something different.
Leave it in a comment.
It's probably a category. Yes. How's my week been? It's all right, actually. It's been all right. We spent some time with So's family over there because it was the bank holiday weekend, wasn't it? So
yeah,
I'm kind of like all over the place. So
they're very happy and gloating at you because they stayed up in the championship.
They've not stayed up yet, Huddersfield. They've still got to get a point out of the next two features.
They're officially up. I think they're officially up. I think that win at the weekend kept them up.
I thought they needed one more point out of the next two games.
No, that was Rotherham, wasn't it? But
it was Huddersfield. Either way, no. It's they know how crap they are at the minute. They're not gloating.
Well, there's Huddersfield fans coming for you in the comments.
Well, they are. They're a shambles, and they know they're a shambles. And the fact is, Warnock has worked a miracle there.
Yeah.
The fact that they're Reading are on 44 points, Huddersfield on 47.
Yeah. But anyway, it was a nice little change of pace, but it's thrown me off completely now because all my work schedule and everything has just kind of gone out the window a little bit. Yeah. The podcast schedule's gone out the window because usually we film the podcast on the day I was traveling back and stuff, so it was it's thrown things around a little bit. But yeah, we will talk Sheffield Wednesday in a minute. But I'm trying to put it off because I've been at my wit's end with it this week, seeing the stuff on social media, boys. I don't know about you.
It's not been great, has it?
No.
It's
before
like
we get into that rant, please go and leave us a review on audio services. Yes. If you're ever going to do it, go and do it. We need to get up those podcast charts and get in people's ears holes. Yes, that's what I said. So please recommend us to people through leaving us a nice review on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, all of those things. Basically, there's also memberships available where you can support us financially. The stickers also have gone out finally. I'm sure from the giveaway. It will not take that long. I assumed people wouldn't want stickers covered in Rona and other diseases, so I delayed everything. We were waiting for some members to get back to us. They finally got back to us. So all of it, I wanted to send everything out at once from the giveaways and stuff. So it's all gone. There is still some left, which I'm keeping for next year. There's a couple of the limited edition ones left, so they will be next winter's one as well. For people who didn't get it the first time. But yeah. Do you still have your stickers, boys? You've been put in places?
Yeah. I can't really say where I've been putting mine because they've been in public places.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Okay.
So
yep.
I don't really want to say it in case they get found, and then it's like, oh, a big surprise. Oh, Talking Wednesday over here in this place that's not Sheffield. Oh my god, I
quite like that.
I want that effect, kind of thing. And maybe, just to plug the Twitter.
Oh yeah,
someone might tweet. Someone might tweet. Oh my god, it's a Talking Wednesday sticker all the way over
somebody
here.
often forgets or just doesn't. So I would say that somebody might, but that would involve the person who's meant to do it doing the job.
Actually, I was talking from people that come across it and find them. That's what I meant.
Sorry, I thought you were trying to pimp the Twitter.
Well, I also am saying at Talking Wed is where you can find all the matchday tweets, whether they are extremely ranty or not, depending on how the players are doing it in that match day. But they're also
some fantastic memes as well.
Yes,
some fantastic memes. That'll be everything. Sunday will be everything. We'll be on the Twitter. We'll be on YouTube. We will literally be. None of us are going. All right, call us as much an armchair as you want. For me, I actually initially missed tickets, so because I'd got poorly and then I had a week from hell with everything going on. So it was a case of sorting all that out. I missed tickets for Derby.
Go check, mate, because some tickets have been sent back.
Yeah. We've planned this now. We've put so much planning into it when we thought it was all sold out. So we're just gonna do it. We will do as we're doing. And the good news is, should be able to make playoffs now when we get to the news later, because things have changed a little bit just as we're recording this podcast. So that's all right there. Let's talk about Shrewsbury Town versus Sheffield Wednesday. We'll talk about the way the match goes before we talk about what ended up resulting of it, because obviously there was other matches that would confirm Sheffield Wednesday's fate during this. But let's talk about Shrewsbury as a whole. Jake, as tradition dictates, talk us through this one.
So this was really comfortable for Wednesday. We played some good football, started well, and Michael Smith had the bit between his teeth. He could have had more. That is something I think we said about Michael Smith a lot this season. But interesting fact, when we get to it, first hat-trick he scored since the Pompey days. And that was in paint trophy thing, whatever competition we're calling, because I'll call it every other competition under the sun. Really clever bit of play. And the thing is, when we play this style of football, we look good. We look like a team who can actually get forward. And Barry Bannon just found faith again. Had a shot, nearly made it too. And the thing is, you're looking at this thing, can we do better? Can we try and get things going? And the thing is, when you see Wednesday play this well, with everything flowing, we look like the team that should have gone up with this gun. Michael Smith getting a hat-trick, and the last one he just took it in his stride, beat the keeper, goal. And you're thinking, where's that been? Where's that clinicalness?
Because he's got 17 goals this season now, hasn't he?
He got. I think he won away from 20.
You look at it. Well, that'd be 19 then, wouldn't it, Jake? That's how numbers work. Is that in overall competitions?
No, that season. He was on 16. Yeah, 19. Yeah, he won more. He 20.
Okay. I know because he got to the award for 17, but that's possibly was a cut-off, wasn't it? So
yeah, the last player to get us 20 goal a season made Neil.
But would you look at Michael Smith and think that guy scored 20 goals for us this season? Because you don't, do you?
No.
But
he misses more than he actually creates. But
kind of.
It's one of those things. You look at this game though. 20 shots, 6 on target. Where the hell were the other lot? This is the issue. If we're having 20 shots, that needs to be in double figures. The shots on target. This has been the problem all season. And this is one of the reasons, personally, I think we didn't go up. We have not been clinical enough.
I've been saying that all season. Every time we watch something, there's the
We've been
clinical
saying
nature
it
of
since we
Wednesday has
came
been
down.
woeful.
We've been saying it since Gary Monk.
He's
Even
on
when we
19. By the way, he's on 19 overall. I'm looking here.
Right.
He's got. It says. I don't know if these are the most updated stats, but it's 19 all competitions. I don't know if that plays for Saturday's game though, because if he's either on 19 for all competitions, or he's on 21 for all competitions.
Yeah. I think it probably 19 for competitions and then some stupid like 16 for the actual league.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. But again, you don't feel like he's done that, do you? Because
no,
as Jack has said a lot of times, he doesn't have a great first touch. He's not particularly fast. But for some reason, this game, we played to all the strengths that he was superb at, take a drink, if you were at Rotherham. You know, when he was there. Because it worked.
Yes.
We actually managed to get him playing to his strengths. And when he played to that first goal, that back heel from Gregory to know where he was, it's been something that's been missing for ages. And they've been building that partnership up. And I think it's when Gregory got injured at Fleetwood, we lost that bit of month where they had that connection. And it then got to this point for it to build it back up again.
Well, what I've been saying all season is why have we signed Smith if we aren't going to play to his strengths? It's the same thing. It's the same questions of like Malik Wilkes. Why are we not playing into his strengths? I always felt that he's the type of player that if you do play to his strengths, it will come good. And I think Moore's realised that we haven't got a lot of options at the minute. You know, so he's the alteration and the way we played at Shrewsbury was potentially another way of playing to someone's strengths. It's nice to have a couple of options for the playoffs. What are your thoughts on it, Jack?
I agree. I do think it's been you see, the strange thing is, when we've obviously just had the options of Gregory and Smith has been playing the Windass role, the pacey going on to through balls, and Gregory has been playing the role that Smith was playing the whole season. And arguably, you'd think they should swap the two over, that Gregory would be better running into channels and being a sort of like nuisance for the defense and goalkeeper and that sort of thing. So it's just nice that finally they've almost given them the roles that they should have had this whole time. I don't know what the decision behind that has been, to be playing them in this strange, maybe it's a tactical point of view to dupe the opposition. I don't know, but it's clearly not been working very well in that run of games just after the Barnsley loss, and it's just nice to see the fortunes turn around again now. And actually, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe we have got the best form of all of the playoff teams going into this playoff run as it stands after this win against Shrewsbury. I do believe
you are correct. Yes.
The problem is,
carry on, Jake.
Form doesn't mean nothing in playoffs. That's the problem. Form goes out the window once you played that last game, really.
Awkwardly, Derby would have, depending on how that match goes at the weekend, they are draw, win, draw. We are win, loss, win. So we have got better form, but Derby are probably the best form team out of the others, because Bolton are win, draw, win, loss, win. So
all over the place, yeah.
Yeah. Barnsley are even worse. Win, draw, win, loss, draw. So 2 wins out of the last 5 going into the playoffs. So yes, we are the form team technically. If we beat Derby, we are very much the form team. And if we beat Derby, we're not gonna go up automatically on 96 points.
That's so frustrating.
Ridiculous.
And I've said this before, any other season, that's enough. 90 points right now gets you up. 93 points, what we're on right now, gets us up. The thing is, Ipswich and Plymouth have been very clinical, especially Ipswich. I think they finished on like 60 goal difference, which is insane. They've had a good transfer window in January. They both strengthened, which is where a lot of the blame will go from most fans, because they'll go, we should have strengthened here and here and here. We don't know the full story behind the scenes and what was going on. So we don't know what's happened and targets and stuff. The problem is, I have a really big issue with people right now going with the whole Darren Moore out, he needs to be sacked. The only club that would sack a manager who would have this amount of points and sack it, and they've done it in the past, would be someone like a Chelsea.
I actually find it increasingly difficult for even if we bottle the playoffs, which I actually, because I'm a Sheffield Wednesday fan, the more we go into it, I think we can
I know
do
what
this.
you mean.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like, it's very hard, even when even if it does happen, for me to turn around and go, how can you sack him after this season? Because if you look at go on.
The only way you sack him is if that the remit is promotion. Either way. And he's had two opportunities, he's not done it. That's the only reason you can sack him.
That's the way. But if you look at the form overall, Wednesday's form, we're picking up form again at the end of the season, and it genuinely is a blip that's cost us, which is insane, because the abuse he is getting, right? I've never seen any manager in our history get this much abuse, right? And I just don't understand it, because I'm like, he's got 93 points.
I think
oh,
sorry, go on.
It's just a blip, because I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's so unfortunate because that we've had two exceptional teams that haven't had their blips. Plymouth and Ipswich Town, 98 and 97 points, right? Collectively, they've still got a game to play, right? They could both finish on 100 points, right? Above Plymouth could finish on 101, Ipswich could finish on 100 if they both win their last game. The last 5 games, they've just got a clean win of a clean run of 5 straight wins. It's just they have been exceptional, and they've not had that blip where we had a blip that every team seems to have. And in previous seasons, as you say, we've got 93 points. You're allowed that blip and you still go up, and we just weren't allowed it this season.
Ipswich had their blip in November. They had it in November, and that's what helped, because they'd already had it. It had a little blip around about January time. They weren't picking up many points. The thing is, what's been the key for Plymouth is a mixture of playing with a chip on the shoulder from last season, not getting into the playoff without points, because they normally do. And their home record has been fantastic. They rarely lose at home. I think it's 2 clubs that have beaten them at home. And their away record, and much of it's not been great, but they've got a lot of draws. If you can win all your home records, and you know what the annoying thing is? Start of the season, Dex, you said 2 points per game gets us promoted. We've done that, and we haven't got promoted.
Yep.
I know. Which is why it's going to be very hard for me to justify it. For calling for his head. Because it's like, well, he's done what you should do. The only thing he hasn't done is been completely exceptional with it. And the players should really, they should really look at themselves for some of those fixtures. Right. Because what I do see is I don't see people posting our form overall. I see a lot of people posting Forest Green's form and the fact that we were their only win. And I'm like, right, but that's an agenda. You've got an agenda behind that, because you're not trying to show the fact that actually our form, apart from that section, has been great. Because we had that unbeaten run, and then we're finding form towards the end of the season again. I'll be honest, the Burton performance, it was one of those where you'd look at it and you're like, for God's sake. I just think we played Barnsley at the wrong time again.
Yeah.
That's what probably derailed us here, which is why it's not that confident going into the playoffs when you look at the teams we've got to play. I would fancy us against any team except Barnsley.
And also, if you look in the transfer window, Darren Moore wasn't expecting to lose most of the main players in that period. If he knew he was going to lose them, he would have gone, right, I need this, and this in.
Jack, what were you going to say before we cut you off?
I was literally going to say, I have not seen this much stick towards a Wednesday manager since Dave Jones in 2013. Early 2013, just before he was sacked.
I don't even think it was this bad.
No. And I think it's honestly ridiculous. The fact that he's finished on we're possibly going to finish on 96 points. Rotherham got promoted. Rotherham got promoted last year on 85 in second, just to put it in perspective. And I think, wasn't Wigan just 101? Like, it was only just over.
Like
it was something like, or it might have even been 98. Like,
No,
93 points until this point.
No, by the way, for the last 20 years, 93 points would have got us promoted.
Yeah.
20 years.
20 years, man. Like.
And also, this man
it's just
who went
Sheffield
on
Wednesday all over, isn't it?
Yeah. And also, doesn't get a single Manager of the Month award.
Yeah,
For
that
23
was
unbeaten run.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
23 games unbeaten and he doesn't get a single recognition. He gets a nomination here and there for a Manager of the Month, but he doesn't get a friggin' Manager of the Season actual win for a unbeaten run. It's mind-boggling. It's absolutely mind-boggling, and I'm furious about that because just because he didn't finish top, and I've just lost for words really on it. It's
I know how
ridiculous.
I've always
do you know
said-
how you can tell that you're a sucker for punishment as a proper Wednesday fan is no matter how annoyed I've been at certain results and that going into these playoffs, the closer even if we have a bad time at the weekend because it's happening now. I know it'll happen after that. The closer we get, I'm like, we could do this, Go on, and I'll get. And it's more of a case of because that's what you do is, and you get behind it, and you get behind the team, and you feel that rise, and you're like, we can beat. And I think that's probably what's done us harm as a fan base for so long because we put everything on the line and think, we'll do it, and we very rarely do.
If we do get to Wembley, and it's a big if because the playoffs are a lottery, do not over-celebrate at Hillsborough. The job's not done. That's what we did wrong when we did it with Brighton.
Yeah.
We acted like the job was done. What you need to do is walk off that pitch and be like, right, we've done it. We're up to final.
I actually don't think we will. I think.
No, I don't.
I think we're probably not. I'd like to think we're not that tone deaf than that. It's actually, if you think about it, it's a slight embarrassment we're in the playoff situation. We shouldn't really be there because of the way, so if anything, these playoffs are a means to an end. There should be getting a job done, and we could actually mess this up. So it's more of a case of...
A lot of the celebrations for Smith's goal were very much that. They were very muted. They weren't full on, like, it's kind of like the players have got it in their head, but at the end of the day, we just got to do what we've done for this last couple bit and just keep going.
Keep your phone torches in your pocket.
Yeah, please don't do that. Please.
I can't stress enough. And now I know if we and Jack do go together, he's going to be stood next to me and he's going to be like,
absolutely not. Absolutely not. It was it was cool that when it happened the first time against Brighton at home, that was cool. That was great. But the fact that it's been now so overdone by so many other teams as well. And I think the biggest stigma that's been put on that as well, why it's embarrassing, is because it happened against Huddersfield the following year at home after 20 friggin' minutes.
Jack, what you don't know is that James is just going to duct tape his phone to your chest with his torch on so you don't know.
Oh, for God's sake, of course he will. That sounds like something he'd do.
No, I won't.
Come on,
why would I do that? It looked like I'd strap some sort of explosive device into him walking into a stadium.
Right. You can't get a bottle cap in. How is he meant to get duct tape in?
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll walk in with this lad with a phone sellotape to his chest. That doesn't look kind of sus at all, does it?
Sorry, our budget couldn't afford a GoPro. Sorry, this is all you got.
Yeah. So, what did you all think? We'll move into the news now. What did you all think to the chairman's statement before? Because I actually I'll read it, for example. This was just before the going into the weekend, so automatics was still a possibility, but it's newsworthy to read out what he said. So he said this to the Wednesday website, quote, "There are 2 games to go, and while ever we have a mathematical chance of the top 2, everyone must give everything for the team. The odds are not in our favour, but we still have to give a fighting chance. Our fans have a huge part to play. Please give everything you have at Shrewsbury on Saturday, and if it goes to the last day, the same against Derby. If we go to the playoffs, the same again. You've shown great spirit to sell out the Derby game completely. I am told we could have sold many, many more tickets. That is the kind of spirit that makes me proud. The players can only give it everything they have in these last games, and the fans do the same. We must still hope we still have a chance of automatic on the last day. If not, we go into the playoffs where everyone must have the same heart, the same mentality, and the commitment to win. The 2 teams above us have been on an incredible run of form. We have 5 more points than last season, and we could finish with 96 points and still not get automatic. Of course, I understand the frustration of everyone, but this is football, this is sport, and anything can happen. I ask all our fans, if you want to come to anyone now, come to me. I will take it as leader of our club. I can take that on my shoulders, but please, I ask you move any negative direction away from the football department for the games we have left. Until we know our destiny for next season, we must have one big positive push. whether that is for automatic promotion or playoffs, it is still the same. It may be a small chance of automatic now, but it's still a chance. Now is not the time for the inquest in the football. That can come at the end of the season, which is fine. Until this season is finished, we must be totally positive and give everything we can for Sheffield Wednesday, end quote. Do you know when I read that, I was like, that's exactly it. It is exactly it. As much as we want to moan and people go, oh yeah, but because there was obviously a load of negativity to it and everything. What can we do now? Nothing. We love to moan, right? We can moan all summer if it goes wrong. We'll have a podcast of it.
Yeah.
But it's like, Wednesday fans love to moan. We can do all of that. But right now, we really do need to rally the team. And the fact that he could read the situation there, I thought that was... It's not the Chansiri that we used to see, in my opinion. No. I'm going to hand this to Jack first. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, go for it.
I actually think it's a really, really good statement. And like you say, it just sums it up perfectly. And to me as well, that backs Darren Moore. That's a statement saying, I back Darren Moore.
Yeah.
Because he's literally said, the two teams above us have just had a freak season of great form that's just carried on. And he's almost said what we've been saying, that a possible 96 points and not going up automatically is ridiculous, and it's a fluke one-off event that probably might not even happen next season or whatever. It might take a while for this sort of thing to happen again, but it's just our luck that it happens to be our season, doesn't it?
If anything, I think it'll be fan pressure that gets him sacked.
Yeah,
actually,
I think so,
because it sounds like from that he does back the situation.
It's sacked a manager before. It's sacked Carlos. That's what sacked Carlos. Is fan pressure.
Yeah, that's true.
But then again, you're also looking at a chairman who doesn't really pay attention to much of the socials that much anymore because of what's happened in the past. And I think he's learned about not just going for things. He'll see the line that gets me in the whole thing is the line, this is football. It happened. This is football. We've never heard Chansiri actually say it like that, where it's like, this is what happened. I can't just sack him because of how can you justify a sacking with 96 points? This reads to me as get behind them, let's stop the infight. And someone will have said to him that there's a load of stuff, negativity online kind of thing. Because this statement got rumoured around, like people like Chansiri making a statement. So people's head went sacking, selling, or this. And the thing is, for me, it screams of a manager who understands the sport now, understands what goes on with it. He's actually been able to learn what this thing is. He's been here long enough to understand it. And I think you've got someone in Darren Moore, and if they speak as often as they say they do, kind of thing, there's a trust there. We can't have it that after every 2 years, we sack a manager because he's not got it right. Because what does that build? Because you have to then rip out the infrastructure that the old manager's done and start again. What's the point of ripping something apart? Because some managers do that. Some managers will keep the structure that's there. That's done okay. But some managers like to start afresh. We can't keep starting afresh.
I also can't stress, this is not his third season.
It's not.
What did I
It's doing my nutting. No, not you.
It's
I'm
fancy
sorry,
line.
I keep saying it. He's had 3 seasons. He got his relegated. Do you know how I know you're an actual idiot if you say Darren Moore got us relegated? He was the manager in place when we got relegated, but Tony Pulis came in and kicked us in the face and got us relegated, right? Unfortunately, we were in a global pandemic during all of that. I was watching every single game with most of you in this audience, right? Darren Moore actually brought some spirit back to the team.
Darren Moore wasn't even on the touchline for it because he had it himself and nearly died.
Nearly died.
Official statements. He nearly got killed by that.
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, genuinely. He almost died.
It came out that he had like end of life people around him, like making sure he's okay.
Yep.
Came very close.
What?
He was on end of life care for a little bit.
We did a podcast about it. I'm sure we did.
Did we?
Yeah.
Did we?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an article.
There's an article all about it. And Chansiri, he was phoning Chansiri up saying, "What's going on? What can I do? What can I do?" And Chansiri was telling him, "No, recover, go to bed."
That's a very different thing. Wouldn't he be on like?
He was on like 24-hour watch in case he.
Yeah. I just wanted to clear that up because that's a very different thing.
Yes. Yeah, it is actually. It is.
It is a very different thing. But the thing is, what I'm saying is, it was serious That's what I'm trying to say.
It was
'Cause
serious, but yeah.
There was a lot of our fan base at that point who was like, he's not ill, he hasn't got this. Well, I had it and it went away 2 weeks ago. Kind of thing. That's what I'm saying. He was seriously ill. The thing is, people turn around and say he's had 3 seasons. No, he had March, April, May in League One, and that was it. So he didn't have a transfer window. He didn't have any kind of thing. If we got him when we got Tony Pulis, you could have said, right, he had this much, then you could use it because then it hasn't kicked on. But he only had 3 months, and for 3 of them months, he wasn't on the touchline.
I thought first season in League One was great, getting rid of Deadwood.
Yeah.
Basically trying to find a team identity. The second season, this season, was actually showing how Darren Moore had adapted to the league and was playing a bit uglier in ways, and it wasn't always the prettiest. We could play really pretty football, but then half of the time we decided not to because we decided to be more results focused. It was showed a bit more of a savvy way to do it. I would say it's showing like the passion behind the team, but I will say there were certain players that let him down during the blip. Yeah. So there is that there. So I can't fully back that, to be honest, because there were players that sort of dropped their heads at the wrong point. They were already walking it like it was done because we got into a comfortable position. That was the problem. That's what's cost us this, by the way, thinking it was already won before it was won.
Yeah. Fans already thought it was that as well, and I think that's what also kind of thing.
I didn't. I'm going to be... I don't like to be smug about this because I hate that I was right, but I was literally there going, can we stop? All the writings were coming in going, it looks like we're promoted, so what are you thinking for next year? And I was like, stop. Just enjoy the fact we've got this because there's still games to be played. Stop.
Jack, you owe me a tenner.
Do I?
Yeah, I called this. I said it if I said that.
Oh, yes, you did.
He called it.
Yes, you did. Jake called this. He was like, oh, Dex is going to be proper smug about this on the podcast that he called this ages ago that, he shouldn't.
Actually, no. Give him a 5 instead because I specifically said I wasn't smug about it.
You're not smug about it.
Yes, good point.
I did say he might be a bit smug, but not smug in the sense of being smug because he called that he was right about something he didn't want to be right.
Jake, you tight git. You're just trying to get a tenner out of me rather than the 5, aren't you? Look at that. Look at that with your wordplay, and you're looking for loopholes about how to still get a tenner out of me. Honestly,
I think you should just be more respectful about somebody with a football opinion because there's not enough of that in this world anymore. Everybody
football opinions. There's plenty of them, mate.
No respect to football. It doesn't matter.
I think the thing that annoys me. I think the thing that annoys me with it in general is that what annoys me when things like this happen, they always say it's on the managers, but you never see players getting sacked for doing not their job.
No.
And you never will. You never will, but it's just that interesting fact. But at the end of the day, we just got to go into playoffs positive and strong. And if we can get places as loud as we know it can be, Hillsborough or Pride Park or Posh's ground, I've forgotten what it's called, because it might be Peterborough. The only thing we've got to remember is that if it is Derby, we're playing them 3 times in a row on Sky.
Speaking of this, I really want us to beat Derby at the weekend so we don't play Derby in the playoffs.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. I fancy our chances against Peterborough a heck of a lot more than I do.
Yeah, same.
Not necessarily Derby, but just Paul Warne. I think
that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, same. It's the Paul Warne fact. He's been here. He's done it.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want. I don't want to come up against Paul Warne in the playoffs. So I reckon Posh finished the season strong. We'll try and sort Derby out this weekend, and if we can dispatch them, we don't have to worry too much because the problem is they're the only other fan base that I'd be really worried about being able to drag a team up as well because they will. Their home leg's going to be rough.
Yeah.
And they could get a strong start with that as well. I'm not saying Peterborough would be a walkover because Wednesday can mess it up in everything, but out of the 2, I would prefer to play Peterborough currently.
On the playoff semi-finals, we have new dates.
We do. I was just about to segue that as well. It's getting even ahead of me. One thing will be professional about this at the minute. In a minute, we'll get the podcast flow back. But yes, I am really happy about this, while everyone else seems really annoyed because they don't get to go out drinking, basically, because it's a work day after it. So, this is from the Wednesday website. Following our League One season finale against Derby this Sunday, our first leg will take place away from home on Friday the 12th of May with kickoff at 8 p.m. The return fixture is scheduled for Thursday the 18th of May at 8 p.m, changed from Saturday the 20th of May on police advice. Tickets for our playoff doubleheader will be announced in due course. So this was originally, the second leg was going to be on my birthday. I'd already got stuff planned. I'd already got stuff paid for, specifically. So I was going to have to go and try and watch it in a pub somewhere while I was doing stuff. I am so happy about this. Can't explain how happy I am.
This is also AKA
to this.
Barnsley are playing at home, so we haven't got the police presence.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty much. And what's going to happen with the first leg is Jake's going to stream the first half. I'm going to stream the second half because I am working up until about 8 o'clock. So, like last year, I'm going to have to rush home and get ready to stream the second half of the first leg. But it worked quite nicely last time, so we'll see how it goes. But yes, I'm excited, but I'm also crapping it. It'll be a sellout though. So, what do you think about the date change? Does it really? I know you're not going to the light show, Jake. So
yep. I don't think it's a big deal. I think the only thing that is a slight pain in the backside, less rest time, but that's really not much because you're going to be playing on the Friday anyway.
Yeah.
If it was Saturday to Saturday, it may be different. I think, to be fair, I'm surprised no one on Twitter called it being like, hang on, they're both at home, isn't this going to be a thing? Because normally Wednesday fans are quite good at spotting that. We just got to start well, haven't we? End of the day.
Yeah. What about you, Jack? Any problems with the date changes? Think it's no skin off?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I've seen a lot of people annoyed at this because people have planned travel and stuff like that. I would probably be quite annoyed if it wasn't the other way round, to be honest. I would be fuming, actually. Like, say they'd move this to the day I wasn't available, I would be fuming. So,
yeah.
I do understand, actually. It probably should have been thought about earlier. So, actually, I do want to say that now because there might be some fans going, well, I've just booked a flight because we've got international fans that watch this. I've just done this. Don't have a go at the club, by the way. This isn't the club's fault.
This is South Yorkshire Police, basically, that have caused this change. If anybody is to get the current of reaction, if you like, it should be directed at them because it's police advice that has caused this change, But I'm just in general for the playoffs, I'm just saying whatever happens, happens, and not trying to get too pessimistic or optimistic either way.
Yep.
In true armchair fashion, because
maybe we'll go together, Jack, and that way we can you can annoy me all the way through it, basically, and then I can forget about the abysmal performance in front of us. Believe it or not, we do actually get on when we're talking, usually.
I'm just being
sometimes.
A pretty awful so-and-so this episode. I'm sorry about that.
It's all right. They've both had we've all had really rough weeks, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think we've all just decided to laugh through it before this, and then we got our state in a position not to do the podcast.
Yeah.
It's been a long week. But that's the best way. We're all smiling now.
Exactly.
So the Star have been reporting that Byers isn't coming back for the playoffs. They say he's out. Do we think there could be a chance that him and Windass fit? Well, Windass specifically is probably going to feature because he's already back.
Windass is back.
Do we think it could be a surprise tactic from Moore to throw him on the pitch? Hello, it's George
Darren
Byers.
Moore only said end of season. Didn't say anything about end of playoffs, like regular season. Is that a kind of he might be back for a play? Who knows? I don't know. Darren Moore's mind game with the press as late have been interesting.
They
have. The whole we're not going to talk about injuries. We're not going to do this. People have seen it as a I've seen people say that it's like, oh, he's under pressure now. I've just seen it as a manager who's sick and tired of talking about injuries every week.
Yeah. Jack?
I think it's a bit of that. It's like, well, it's probably gone through his mind of saying, well, they're injured and you already know this. Why are you still trying to talk about this? When this is a bit of an annoying thing in football in general over recent years. Journalists just keep asking the same questions over and over and over and over again. And they can't just accept an answer of, when we know something, you will know something too. They can't accept that. They can't have a creative thing to sort of say, here's some brand new questions. Like, I think, wasn't there a manager that called this out
Wednesday
recently?
isn't officially coming at journalists. I would like
Oh,
to
no,
speak.
no,
as
of course.
Jack is
Yeah.
starting
Of
to
course.
say things.
But it's as a reader of these articles and viewer of the press conferences and everything, it does get a bit tedious sometimes when they won't accept an answer for the answer that it is. Do you know what I mean?
You're one of them people who has a go at the journos on Twitter, aren't you?
Oh, no. I'm very civil. I am very civil.
Can you just
They
add
are
this
ridiculous
to,
people.
Can you add this
Not the
to your
journalists, the
list
people
of
that can go.
clubs? Because you now got journalists on the list of clubs that are now going to tweet you.
I get bad press.
That has nothing to do with us, by the way.
I'm
We
just
will have
saying,
to
look,
touch people,
this is all a
and
big
we will-
subjective thing. It's all just a in fact, it was just a speculation of what might be in the mind of Darren Moore. It's not even really. It's just a possibility. It's a subjective opinion piece. All right? Shush! They're both, for you audio listeners right now, but the pair of these of deciding to do a mime symbol of me digging a deeper hole. So, to any journalists listening to this, I do apologize. I'm not saying these comments with any intent to harm. I understand it's all a very stressful job that you have to try and meet deadlines and to try and come up with articles in a very short turnaround time. But I'm just saying what might have been in the mind of Darren Moore when asked these questions repeatedly, rather than an alternative take of, he's just playing mind games. I was trying to offer the other side of something, you know?
Yeah.
And
I
you have a nice
completely understand that.
I'm just
What I
covering
will
my backside
probably-
there.
What I will say from the counter side of it is potentially some of these questions that are asked by the journalists are the ones that constantly get asked them by the fans.
Yes.
So that's why
Yeah.
they churn them round as well. So there's nothing like a better repetition sometimes.
Exactly.
And it annoys me when you see the same sort of stuff getting asked and he answers it in the same way, but he just puts a different flair in it every single thing. But sometimes that's what the fans want to know and they haven't had the answer they want. So
To be fair, we had it during the period when we started doing the Talking Wednesday where we said, please don't mention this because we're going to talk about it in the episode. And then we'd get like a community topic going, can you talk about this?
Yeah.
Yes, in the episode.
yeah.
It's a sort of thing of where, like, well, we're providing this, and you're not listening to us saying we're providing this, you know? And it's that whole. This is a bit of a tangent now, isn't it? But it's just.
I think you've also got to remember that there's the whole thing with journalism these days. It's not as easy as it used to be.
Oh, exactly.
Everyone
Exactly.
kind of thing. So it's one of those things. But I get the tactic of saying not to talk about injury because it was every press conference there was an injury question, and I understand it. But again,
that's the thing, though. Everybody's going, when are these players back? Because we know it shows how sorely we missed them.
Exactly.
So it's information we needed to know. But yeah, let's move into the new. Let's move into some more news. This is from the Yorkshire Live, speaking recently about how. So it's from Examiner Live, but Yorkshire Live, the same sort of parent company. They were talking to Darren Moore about how to manage Rio Shipston. So Shipston's obviously coming through and getting a bit more game time, and he said the following. And quote, it's about managing him carefully. I agree with fans in that he's close to breaking through. He's very, very close. But what we've been working on with Rio is that transitional period from academy into first team. When you step up, it's about power. There's the power, precision, and detail at the first team level with passes. The ball moves quicker and the players cover ground quicker. You have to up your tempo to get it to where you want to get it to. Passes you may play through the academy may get cut out at first team level. What we're doing with Rio is bringing his mental psyche up to the first team level, and that helps him with training with the first team every day. Also, because he's training every day with older players, it's bringing up his physical level. All these things help him. But I do agree with the fans that he's really close to starting games, but he's one for the future for us and for the football club. Even in the situation we're in, we still deem him as someone with the mental capacity to handle it. He's geared for it too. As I say, the bits and pieces we're working on with him are working, and he's shown great progression. He's in a really, really strong position and potentially to start games. We've got no hesitation throwing him in because he's in a far better position than he was a few months ago, end quote. So it's really nice to actually see someone, I think Shipson's contracted as well. So
yes, he is.
It's nice to see this happening in the right manner now. Jake, start us off on this one.
You could have said this is what we kind of needed to do a little bit more when we had Alex Hunt. This kind of progression. And we didn't have that kind of mindset there. And I think Darren Moore being a former loan manager, a former youth team coach helps. He gets the build up of getting into different positions. And people have said it about Bailey Cadamartri. Like, Bailey Cadamartri is very much in the same mindset as like, we're going to do this. But Rio seems to have stepped up. With Bailey, you got to remember Bailey's only 17. 18, you might be able to get in the first team next season, depending on what league. It could be, if we're in the championship, it might turn and say, right, you're going to League One first season, let's see. Because by the sounds of it, it's done the world of good for Brennan. Brennan sounds like he'd come back and mature a better player. And the thing is, the one thing we can say we've been very badly done with our youth academy or youth academy prospects, we've managed them poorly. So we let them go for nothing, and then we've seen them go do good at clubs and be like, where was that player? You know what I mean? It's that whole situation. I think we've got to have a better infrastructure going forward. And if we can get that right, which Darren Moore's doing, we'll get more players through the academy and maybe not have to go into the transfer market or the loan market at times going, we'll get this person who can go, well, we've got him here. He's already made.
Do you want to feel old?
Go on.
He was born in 2004.
Oh, God.
Jack, what's your thoughts on Shipson and the way he's been handled by Moore?
I was 5 years old. Anyway, I to be honest, I understand why this has needed to be a question, because this has probably been raised given the fact that we've had no other options to come off the bench to impact a game. And that's why people have been suggesting throw Shipston on. And in fact, ourselves on previous episodes have said, is there a hesitation there? Why is there a hesitation to put him on? Does Darren Moore not think he's ready yet? But it's kind of nice that he's explained this, because I actually agree with everything he said there, because it does take a while to transition over from under-21 football to first-team football. Because, well, for example, in recent memory, a player who has come on from that sort of level of football and been thrown into it was George Hurst when he was still with us. They just threw him on, and he looked like a fish out of water. He was being muscled off the ball, passes cut out, shots blocked, everything, and he couldn't handle it. And that's why he was possible. Well, I know there was obviously other unsavory reasons with his departure, whatever, but that's another reason why they might have been more willing to let him go rather than do everything they could to keep him, because he was just rushed through. He was just rushed through, again, because of fan pressure, which is something that Chansiri has learnt from, etc. And arguably, it's good that we've got Darren Moore here because, like you said, Jake, he understands the details in the proper development of players, with being a loan manager, with being a youth team coach. And West Brom's academy, fantastic academy, and he did a lot of work there for that to be the case. So I very much trust him with being a manager to bring through the youth. And I just think it's a very sustainable model to approach with. I mean, for example, there's off topic, but in terms of linked with the whole sustainability thing, Reading, they're going to be screwed next season because they probably won't be able to transfer players in. Their academy is one of the best in the UK. And it's even got like a European-wide reputation as being one of the best. So they will be fine, in my opinion.
But again, it depends how much damage has been done from
the owners downwards kind of thing. Yeah. But they've produced so many top quality players. Shane Long, to mention several others. I can't mention one of them because they got arrested for a little bit recently. Who was an Everton player?
Please don't.
You know who I mean.
Oh,
he was
God,
another.
yeah,
He was
no,
yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm not mentioning that name. But he was another one. So many have come. Kevin Doyle was another one in the past that was a Reading Academy product. There's recent ones. The lad that signed for Nottingham Forest on either permanently or on loan from Bayern Munich, the left back.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
He was Reading Academy product. There's a a couple of players for Crystal Palace now, Reading Academy
Our
product.
last academy player is now 33 and
Exactly.
he's our left
Liam
back.
Palmer, yeah.
Palmer.
Yeah. So I'm just saying this is effectively how it can be a sustainable practice to just be purely academy a lot of the time. Look at Derby. They're another example who are going to be fine because of their academy. So
Did Dawson come through our academy?
yes.
Oh,
Oh,
he did.
sorry.
Yes,
Yes,
he
he
did.
did. Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
Forgot about
I thought
Dawson.
he
Yeah.
did.
Wildsmith did
so he
too,
got two.
technically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Wildsmith is,
He's doing very well for Derby, yeah.
Didn't goalkeeper
So-
at Derby, so yeah. But the thing is, right, and it's sad to admit, but like most of I wouldn't do this because my pride. You got a child, and they are being touted by both Sheffield Wednesday's academy and both Sheffield United's academy. Given the academies and the status and the progression paths, if you're looking out for that child, and you're really looking out for their career,
You send him to United.
Sheffield United.
yes. And
Yeah.
that's been the problem, right? There's people as stubborn as us who go, well, you don't have to have a fantastic career, just a good enough one and get in that Wednesday shirt. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, but you could also have the thing that you go through their academy, but then you'd be good enough to be eye-catching enough to come into the first team.
That's the thing, though. We look at the fact that the current England team has got quite a few people that came through that
Yep.
United academy, right?
Yeah.
So we need to get our level to that. So being able to manage the players in the transition, if Shipson's going to become a decent player, we need to see him being handled well. And I think Moore's probably the right person to do that and the way he's doing it.
Yeah.
And just off
It was
topic.
only the start of the season when we were all thinking Alex Huntley could be his season, and then
Yeah.
he went to Grimby. So
Yeah.
it just shows you, doesn't it?
And just off topic, he's actually helped pull me out of financial trouble on Football Manager because I
nice.
sold Rio Shipston for £6 million to Nottingham Forest
Oh,
after deals.
tidy profit.
And you'll notice on this game that it gives you no money because this club is so screwed that I managed to get promoted to the Championship. I'm in my third season, right? Because I'm slowly playing Football Manager this time. And I've literally just been able to sign players because I sold Rio Shipston in my third season. And I've been like, I've actually got like 400k
Money.
now, so I can put it all on the wages. Because
Nice.
I sold it for $6 million and they gave me 700k for it. I was like, are you for real?
Yep.
Takeover. That's all gaming. But I've got obsessed with it again and I'm trying not to play because I'm really busy. Did you know? I said it. Didn't say it at the start.
No.
Took an hour. Right. Sheffield Wednesday has some player awards this week. This is from the club's website. The Sheffield Wednesday Player of the Season awards took place on Hillsborough on Sunday evening. The manager, his staff, and the players were all in attendance as the presentations were made in the club's 1867 lounge. The star of the show was Liam Palmer.
In Puma, a clothing brand. What?
I don't know. I think it's because I saw the word scooped. I actually was going to call him Liam Puma. And yeah,
2011 to 2013 kit maker for Sheffield Wednesday, Puma. What?
was Liam Palmer, who scooped a raft of awards on the night, including the official Sheffield Wednesday Player of the Year, as voted for by the supporters via swfc.co.uk. He got my vote, just for the record.
Got mine.
Same.
Palmer, who is approaching 400 appearances for the club, was also named the Players' Player of the Season, as well as receiving a prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award for his services to the club over the past 2 decades. Will Volks was amongst the winners, scooping the club's I'm speaking like Jake. The club's Community Player of the Season and Goal of the Season for his wonder strike away at Port Vale. Michael Smith picked up the Owls Golden Boot Award with the striker on 19 goals for the campaign after scoring his hat-trick at Shrewsbury on Saturday. Our league campaign concludes and yeah, we don't need to know about that. They're the awards. Liam Palmer dedicated it to what's his name? Johnny
Kickman.
Johnny.
Yep.
Good old Johnny.
Oh, that man's been around the club for years. He's so nice as well. And
Yeah.
the thing is, that it just shows you how nice Palmer is as well. It's like, I've got this, but there's someone else who deserves this more. And the thing is, there were so many people giving abuse on the Twitter timeline for this. Award ceremonies happen. They're allowed to have them. Calm down.
Every team in every sport has them at the end of the season. Doesn't matter what level they're at. They all have an awards night. And I just think, to be honest, I quite like that they've made it a bit of an event. They seem to have made it like an event this year, rather than just everyone turn up in the changing room or on the training ground in their club tracksuits. They've all got like suited and booted, and it's in like a venue place somewhere. And
I noticed
it's great.
Radio Sheffield were hosting. Where was our invite? We'll go and just be like, hello.
Hi guys.
This is the guy that says all the controversial stuff that will want they get himself in a lot of trouble, and we've brought him in for some weird reason. Hi, Jack.
Oh. Hi.
But yeah, it looked fun. It looked like they put a bit of budget into it, and they had a nice way of doing it. But yeah, it's good.
Some
It's good
karaoke.
to see the club. It's good to see the togetherness of the club. And God, Palmer is going to get 400 appearances for the club, isn't he? It's crazy.
Yep. And I got laughed at when I said he might get 400.
Oh wow!
I
Yes, he
didn't laugh at
did.
I didn't laugh at you.
You were like, he won't. Shut up. That's what I believe. That's a quote.
Right. That's
I believe
somebody's
that's a
job
quote.
to now go back to that podcast and realize you guys are talking absolute. You know what I said there, right?
I don't. You cut out. Sorry, Dex. What did he say? What did he...
That's just to save me editing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I could add a couple of words now, to be honest, Jack. Sheffield Wednesday's next match is Derby County.
Indeed.
Last day of the season, we will be streaming it live on the Dexterity Box channel. We won't obviously be showing the footage, but there'll be a big event for that for the people
Can
who
I just
can't
say for
go.
one, I am sick of playing Derby last game of the season.
Yeah. Feels kind of fitting that I'd stream Derby that time.
Yeah.
And it's them
Yeah, it
again.
does actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you think we're going to win?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I do as well. I think I'm confident at the minute. Have we got a podcast between the playoffs? Yes, we have, haven't we?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes. So we will talk about that, and we will talk about the build-up to the playoffs. So the next episode will obviously be a playoff build-up episode. Then when after the playoffs have concluded, we will do our end-of-season usual stuff. We will do our breakdowns. We will do all of that. So basically, the podcasts are right themselves for the next few weeks. But hopefully, Sheffield Wednesday can keep it up. Do they end the season on 96 points? We will see. But that's all I've got for this week's episode of Talking Wednesday. Has anyone got anything to add before we leave?
No.
It's going to be fun to have breakdowns, both statistical and mental, on the end of season podcast episodes. But yeah, that's been fun. I loved seeing the pit photos of Wolf Hawks doing karaoke. That was great. That was really fun. But other than
I love
that,
a bit of karaoke.
other than that, it's been a
Love a bit of
pleasure
karaoke.
going fishing today on today's episode. Got a good few
Such a-
catches, you know.
You are such a child, sir. But
Got a few nibbles.
you are quite fun sometimes. I have to preface it with the sometimes. I need to go and eat because this
Yeah.
podcast was
Nice,
meant to be
same.
finished an hour and a half ago, lads.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
If that is all, you all have a lovely week. Sorry, this podcast is late because now this ain't coming out tonight like it was originally planned to. So Wednesday, here it comes, and Derby, Wednesday, here they come. I don't know what I'm
Yes.
saying. Hopefully, we win.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Goodbye.
Because my friends
the
are going to be
next episode.
insufferable if they win and we don't. But anyway, yes. Goodbye.
Oh yeah, you have.
Yeah, I've
you
got
have
friends
friends.
that
Oh, no, not that.
That's been it for this week's episode of Talking Wednesday. Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode of Talking Wednesday.
See
are. See
ya.
you later.